Everyone thinks the Instinct Crossover is the ultimate rugged Garmin with analog class, but here's the thing, it might be the most polarizing Garmin I've tested because the one feature that makes it special also gets in the way. I wore it daily for 30 days, took it through rainy trail runs, gym intervals, commute, and even a weekend backpacking trip. The result? Some very real problems you'll want to hear before spending premium money. And yes, I ran it against a chest strap, compared GPS against my Forerunner and an Apple Watch Ultra, and pushed the battery hard. What I discovered changed how I think about hybrid watches. Before we dive into what I discovered, quick heads up. If you're already leaning toward the crossover, I've got the best current price linked below. But stick around, because what I found about the hands, the GPS, and the actual day-to-day experience might save you a return. Here's why I even bought this. I wanted one watch that could survive trails, look decent in a meeting, and not scream gym teacher at dinner. I'd tried the Instinct 2 before, tons of function, zero style. On the flip side, AMOLED watches looked great but died halfway through a long hike. The crossover promised the sweet spot, rugged Instinct DNA with real analog hands, super Luminova glow at night, 10 ATM water rating, and Garmin's training metrics. I was hopeful but skeptical. Could analog hands actually play nice with data? Would the battery hit the legendary Instinct numbers? And at a price that often floats between roughly $500 and $600 depending on the version, it had to earn its spot on my wrist after a long run, not just on the walk into a coffee shop. I broke testing into 4 scenarios. First, trail and GPS. Multi-GNSS, not dual-band, locked fairly fast even under tree cover. On a 16-mile loop with 2,000 feet of gain, the track stayed mostly clean, but in canyons and near cliffs it drifted off trail by a few meters compared to my dual-band Forerunner. Pace smoothing was fine, but instantaneous pace bobbed around more than I'd like on steep switchbacks. Battery with GPS-only tracking, solid but not epic. I got through a long Saturday and a Sunday shakeout without a charge, but it didn't feel bottomless. Good enough for weekend warriors, not a multi-day ultra monster unless you babysit settings. Second, gym intervals. I paired a chest strap to benchmark the optical sensor. In steady-state treadmill and rowing, average HR was within 2 to 4 BPM of the strap. During HIIT, the watch lagged spikes by about 5 to 10 seconds and missed some peak intensity by 8 to 12 BPM. That's normal for wrist sensors, but it matters if you rely on the watch for interval pacing and recovery calculations. Lift sessions were fine. Button layout is classic Garmin, no touchscreen but fast to navigate. The lack of music storage is a bummer if you want phone-free workouts. Third, everyday smart use. This is where the crossover gets interesting and frustrating. Those analog hands look awesome. They glow at night. The Revo drive calibration kept them aligned, but they also block parts of the screen at a glance. Yes, press a button and they jump out of the way, but when a text buzzes and the minute hand is sitting over the notification preview, you have to interact just to see it. After a week, that tiny friction added up. The display is MIP, monochrome, legible outdoors, a bit grainy indoors. Backlight is decent, not punchy. Notifications are read-only, no wrist calling. It does the basics, but coming from more feature-rich Garmin's or an Apple Watch, it feels minimal. Fourth, build and comfort. It's rugged, mil STD 810 tough and 10 ATM water rated. The case is thick and tall on the wrist. Under tight sleeves, it snags. The silicone band is secure but a bit stiff. Buttons are tactile with a satisfying click. Lume is great for night readability, but if you sleep in pitch black, the glowing hands can be slightly distracting until you get used to it. But here's where it gets interesting. The battery life in watch mode with normal smart features is legitimately impressive. I ran all day HR, notifications, and turned pulse ox off for accuracy and battery sanity. I easily cleared 2 weeks with a couple of GPS sessions thrown in. If you lean into battery saver modes, you can stretch that dramatically. However, turn on pulse ox overnight and track daily workouts and that legendary Instinct endurance dips closer to reality than fantasy. Not bad, just not the infinite feel some expect. So what's the big discovery? You're paying a premium for the analog experience. And that experience is simultaneously the crossover's magic and its pain point. The hands give it a unique identity and nighttime clarity. They also obstruct data at the worst possible times and add thickness. I put in 30 days because I didn't want to snap judgment. Compared to expectations, it underdelivered for data nerds and overdelivered on vibe and durability. Versus alternatives. A Forerunner 255 or 265 gives you better training insights, lighter weight, and often better GPS for less. A Fenix 7 or Epix adds maps, music, and richer features, albeit at higher prices and with different battery dynamics. The Instinct 2 gets you much of the crossover's function without the analog trade-offs for cheaper. Is the crossover too good to be true? No, it's exactly what it claims, a hybrid. That means compromise. Now that you know the real trade-offs, here's the move. If the analog aesthetic solves your work-to-weekend dilemma and you still want Garmin's rugged chops, grab it while prices dip. I've linked the best current deal below. If you're on the fence, check the alternatives I mentioned too. Your money goes farther if you value training tools over style. Bottom line, don't buy the Garmin Instinct Crossover if you think it's a better instinct for athletes. It's not. Buy it if you want a durable, waterproof, set-and-forget hybrid that looks like a watch, not a wrist computer, and you're okay pressing a button when the hands block data. Runners who care about precise pace, interval HR, and advanced metrics should look at Forerunner or Fenix. Office-to-outdoor folks, analog lovers, and anyone who prioritizes battery in watch mode with real ruggedness will be happy here. The crossover is a vibe with muscles. Just know which side you're paying for.